the story that starts Englishman Ernest Bishop jailed in the Costa Brava. Yes. Now, could you tell me anything? Oh, only what's in the paper. I see.
Good morning, Mrs. Walker.
Morning, dear. Yes, I'm still here. You couldn't by any chance tell me the name of the village? You could. Good. Yes, yes. I've got one here. Second. Eulalia. Santa Eulalia. You wouldn't know anything about the jail? No, of course not. Well, thank you very much. You've been very helpful. Goodbye.
You know, Lucille, this is the first morning for weeks I haven't woken up with a headache.
Yeah, well, it's time, isn't it? Oh, there you have been looking everywhere for you.
Not now, Lucille.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
Is it, dear? I can't say I've noticed.
There's always something beautiful about a crisp autumn morning, don't you think? Perhaps it's the thought of winter just round the corner, and those long, cosy evenings and roaring fires.
I think you should go and tidy your room, Lucille.
I've only just brewed.
Yes, well, it'll still be hot in 5 minutes. Now, dear, I want to talk to you.
Ah, Lucille, I'm afraid there's still nothing suitable that I've heard of, Mrs. Walker.
No, love, it's not, Lucille. Emily, dear, I'm afraid I have some rather unpleasant news for you. In fact, it will probably come as quite a shock.
A shock?
Now, Emily, you do know it takes a long time for a postcard to come from Spain.
I know that, Mrs. Walker. That's why I didn't hear from Ernest.
No. Well, then you'll understand, dear, that between a postcard being written and its arrival here, well, circumstances may change.
What circumstances?
Now, Emily, I don't want you to worry too much, dear. The best way we can help Ernest is by facing up to the problem.
Help him? What's happened to him?
Well, Ernest isn't in his hotel anymore. He's in jail. Now, we don't know anything about it, dear, and it could be all the most ghastly mistake. Look. And the paper can't tell me any more than it says there.
Riotous behaviour? Ernest? It can't be true.
Just what I said, dear, and we must sort it out. But, Emily, you mustn't believe all these stories about Spanish jails. They treat the prisoners very well, I hear, particularly foreigners.
Ernest? In prison?
I have the name of the town here, dear. It's jammed to you.
Right, well, come on in, the pair of you, if you're coming. Don't just stand there gawping.
Why, heck, Albert, I didn't know you did your shopping in Carnaby Street.
Oh, what are you on about now?
You didn't get that gear round here.
Look, if you've only come in here to insult this uniform and the fellas that died wearing it, you can find your own way out.
Look, we're only doing a 10-minute broadcast. It's not Sunday night at the Sunday Palladium. Oh, this is Alex Palmer from Radio Manchester.
Yes, well, he'll have a damn sight more respect for old war veterans round here than what some folk have.
We did meet briefly at the centre, but Councillor Roberts is right, Mr. Tatlock. There's no need to go to all this trouble.
Now, look, if I'm going to tell my memoirs and talk about the poor lads that died by my side, I'm not too proud to wear this uniform. Now, tell me, how much you paying me?
Well, we don't usually pay anything, Mr. Tatlock.
I don't care what you usually do. How much you paying me?
Yeah, steady on, Albert. We are getting somewhat out of it.
Yeah, and it will be good publicity for the community centre and for your classes.
Look, that's got nothing to do with it. What's the community centre got to do with my war experiences?
Note, and that's just the point. He wants to know your classes and the tie-up between military badges and plants, not how you won the flipping war.
Oh, right. Well, look. I was 19 when I volunteered for the Lancashire Fusiliers. Here.
12 o'clock, you said?
Aye, someone about there.
12 means 12.
We should have a word with Oggy sometime.
Something might interest me, won't it?
Aye, well, you know, I've got about half a dozen jobs on hand. All of them wanted yesterday. Of course, Len's away, and, well, Ogden might be on his way to the moon for all that. Well, perhaps I could use another pair of hands, just till Len gets back, like.
straight up.
Do I have to spell it out?
Yeah, nod's as good as a wink to a blind man, ain't it? I'll go and get my tools from house, then I can start straight after dinner.
Well, hang on a minute, mate.
Hey, look, you're not having me on, are you? Because I don't go much on jokes like that.
Oh, neither do I, but don't rush it. Tell us tomorrow, eh? Think about it like...
Well, look, you've got a job, I need one. I know my way round. What's there to think about?
You just said it. You know your way around.
Meaning?
Well, last time it was you that was giving orders. This time it'll be different. Okay. Anyhow, let us know how you're fixed, and if you do fancy it, you can clock on with Oggy in the morning. No, forget about that, not with Oggy. On time.
Here, put one in here, will you, Betty? And then I have to be on my way. I've got a bit of shopping to do before I put my nose to the grindstone again.
Will it do in here?
Do you see a hole at the bottom of that there glass? Of course it'll do in there, you daft apers.
I'm fed up with washing flipping glasses. Look, my hands are beginning to crack.
Ah, well, that's because you use old-fashioned methods. My £100 dishwasher is arriving any day now.
Oh?
Yes, although it's taken nearly 12 months for get from the town to here.
Oh.
You don't suppose Alan forgot to order it, do you?
I wonder if it'll be the same make as mine.
Oh, and what make is that, pray?
Well, it's called a Cyril, except on his dark nights, and then it's a Betty.
Dishwasher, that's an idea. Put 10 minutes on my drinking time. Eh?
Oh, well, I suppose dishwashers is all very well for them that's got naught better to do with their brass. Like colour televisions, Hilda. Oh, funny you should bring that up, Mrs. Howard. Me and Stan was just saying it's about time we got fixed up proper like, weren't we, Stan?
Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, we was going this afternoon.
Were we?
What was wrong with the other one, love? I don't remember you telling us.
Ah, well, have to go back, hadn't it? Oh, yes, we had noticed, Hilda. Broke my heart, did that. But I had to put my Stan's eyes before that thing. Is that...
My eyes?
Yeah, you know, them rays, Chuck. Oh, they didn't agree with him at all, you know, no. Another week of that, I hate to think what he would have been like. I see. So the rays hurt his eyes, so you ordered another one. Well, they're not all like that, you know. They're not the same at all, some of them. I think we'll go and have a look at Grimethorpe's in Victoria Street.
Hang on, what about me beer?
Never mind your beer. Go on.
Oh, you're flipping. I'm coming back for that, I'll tell you straight out.
Oh, I say, what would you do with them?
Well, I won't be the first in the queue to let them have a £200 telly on ticket, I can tell you that.
You're telling me.
Oh.
Oh, hello, Barney. Well, how's that lovely boss of yours, Willie Piggott?
Still my lovely boss.
Miss Nugent in.
Oh. Mrs. Walker?
I've been trying to get down to these stock returns since 11 o'clock. Oh, Mr. Shelton.
Mrs. Walker,
Have you found out anything else yet?
is she in?
Miss Nugent, no, she's not back yet. She's trying to see the Spanish consul.
Mr. Piggott had a letter from Sheila this morning.
He did?
Yeah. He won't put away for riotous behaviour at all.
Oh, that's a relief.
So what time's he coming back then, Uncle Albert?
4 o'clock. I've been practising and I've written myself a bit of a script.
Script? I thought the reporter was coming to interview you.
Well, he is, but he won't know out about it, will he?
Oh, yes, he will, Albert. He knows what he's doing, all right. Saw Threena right away, he did.
Yeah, they do their homework, you know.
No, it doesn't matter about that. If they want Albert Tatlock on wireless, they're going to get Albert Tatlock. And I'm not going to be pushed about by anybody.
You'll do as you're told, Albert, or else I'll tell all them listeners what an old misery you really are sometimes.
Oh, well, you won't be there to tell anybody anything, Minnie Caldwell.
Oh, won't I? Just you try and stop me.
Hey up, there goes the last of the freedom fighters. Bet Franco didn't bargain for Emily Nugent when his lads chucked Ernie in jail.
I don't think Miss Nugent found that very funny, Lucille.
No, I'm sure she didn't, but you must admit that earnest and riotous behaviour are a bit of an odd combination.
Yeah, so's me and Dustin Hoffman. Still, now it's impossible. Or so I keep telling myself.
My dear, you look tired out. How did you get on?
Oh, everyone was very nice, and I suppose as helpful as they could be under the circumstances, but they couldn't actually tell me anything.
Well, while you've been out, Varney Shelton's been round.
I suppose Ernest isn't important enough for Mr. Piggott to come himself.
No, it seems that Mr. Piggott has had a letter from Sheila Miller which sheds new light on the whole incident, and riotous behaviour played no part in it.
Well, I'm sure they don't lock photographers away for nothing, Mrs. Walker, even abroad.
No, dear, but still it's good that Ernest's crime is less serious than was at first feared.
Yes, I suppose that's something to be thankful for. And what was his crime?
Well, we've only got Sheila Miller's letter to go on, you understand. But the charge is merely offending against the public morality.
Come on, Joe. Oh, Stan. Have you ever noticed that lovely smell you get when you come in a telly shop?
There's lovely prices on them sets and all.
Oh, hey, look at this. Oh, it's a bit too big for our living room.
Too big,
though.
you wouldn't get it through the front flipping door. What's the daft idea of dressing me up in a suit to come and look at tellies?
Well, it may seem like a daft idea to you, Stanley Ogden, but it means a lot to me. I were treated like a different person when we had that other one. And I'm entitled to me bit of respect now and again, even from you.
That's a very nice set, that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very nice.
£330.
Come on, Hilda.
Just a minute, Stanley. Not the only set in the shop, you know. They do have others. You see, we was looking for one who doesn't domineer the room, like.
Oh, I see.
That price would domineer the flipping house.
Perhaps this is more the type of set you're looking for.
Can't see the set, never mind the picture.
Well, what about this one, then?
Oh, that's not bad.
Were you thinking of renting or buying?
Renting.
Buying, Stanley? Well, I mean, if you're renting, you're paying all them years and it's never your own, is it?
Buying, right, let's see. Well, that one would cost you £220 cash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but there's terms, isn't there?
Oh, yes, £22 down and £7.70 a month for 3 years.
Oh, just think of that, Stan. After 3 years, it'd be us very own.
Maintenance, contract and insurance will cost you another £25 a year.
That's somewhere else, isn't it?
Well, if you decide to rent, it'll cost you £6.15 a month, and we'd need 3 months' rental in advance.
Oh, it's got lovely legs and all.
All right, go on then. But I want it home before I get home for me tea.
Well, there is just a little bit of paperwork. Eh? Buying, you said? Oh, have you got the deposit with you?
Deposit? I'm not putting any money down till we made our minds up.
No, you see, we have to see whether it goes with the furniture, like. Well, I mean, it's no good getting a new telly if it doesn't go without, is it?
No, I mean, we need it at least, what, fortnight, you know.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm not quite sure what the delivery position is just at the moment. I'll have to contact head office. If you could just leave your name and address.
How long is that going to take?
Oh, well, it'll be after lunch now, I'm afraid. Could you come back this afternoon? Say about 3:30?
Oh, yeah, we can do that, can't we, Chuck? Only, you see, now we've made us minds up, we'd like to get it in as soon as we can.
Oh, yes, I'm sure you would. Now, what was the name and address?
Ogden.
Here, get this down you. You've had note yet. Oh, it's very good of you, Lucille, but honestly, I couldn't eat a thing.
Oh, well, please yourself.
Offending against the public morality. How could he? My Ernest, he's a lay preacher, Lucille.
There's no point in keeping the details from her, Mrs. Walker. She'll have to read into it what she wants to.
Well, there's not much she can't read into that. I knew that girl meant trouble for somebody, but heaven forbid Ernest of all people.
Oh, is that the letter, Mr. Shelton?
I'll read the bit about Ernie, Miss Nugent. The rest of it's business, you know. Let's see. Yes, here it is. Ernest had taken Karen down to the beach to do some more shots of the hotel with Karen in the foreground. She was lying on the sand in a swimsuit. He took off a suntop she was wearing and was just adjusting a bra strap when the police swooped. Ernie tried to explain that he was just putting Karen in the right position. But the police didn't seem to get his point.
Oh, poor Ernest.
Now, dear, we'll think of something, and I'm quite sure that Mr. Piggott won't stand idly by and do nothing.
You can say that again.
There you are, though. He's probably doing something at this very moment.
Yeah, he's flipping nut. He thought Ernie was the last man to get nicked for patting the birds. That's why he chose him.
Well,
Well, perhaps if she did a bit more asking, folks might do a bit more talking.
Oh, come on, Betty. You're surely not saying you think Lucille's deliberately skiving out of a job?
No, I didn't say that, but is she that hard up? I mean, there's plenty of jobs in the evening news for girls with GCEs.
Oh, I don't think Lucille would do that. She was very good at school, and nobody likes being out of work.
Yeah, but it's 7 years since she left school, you know. It's a pity she didn't carry on her education after she left.
Not saying that, but if you've got a roof over your head and you're not stuck for where your next meal's coming from, well, perhaps them folks don't have to look quite so hard.
I have another half in here, please,
Yes.
Betty. Mr. Cowell.
Oh, no, thank you. Nothing more for me, Kenneth. I start to argue if I've more than two.
Right. Pint?
No, thanks, Ken. It's halves for me just now, any road. But pints are a bit filling, like, you know.
Go another half over here as well, please, Betty. Oh. Still no break in the clouds, then?
Oh, perhaps.
Well, that's better than no chance, which is all we've had out of you for weeks.
Well, I've been offered somewhat temporary, like, I think.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever it is, you don't sound very enthusiastic about it.
It's not me that's not so keen, it's Ray Langton.
He's offered you something?
Oh, well, like I said, just temporary.
Well, it might be a bit dim, but I don't really see what the problem is. I mean, if you know your way around anyway, you know your way around the yard.
Yeah, but Langton reckons I might know my way round too much, is all he says.
Thank you, Betty. You were saying?
Well, he reckons I might forget who's boss, with me being a partner once, like, you know.
And would you?
No.
Well, you have quite a reputation for sticking up for your principles, to put it as nicely as possible.
What, you mean me tell him how to do the job? Now, look, Ken, 3 years back I might have. 12 months back I would have. But I've been on all a few months now, and I know my place, so don't go fretting yourself about that.
Yes, I'm not saying you don't. Well, if that's how you feel, I can't see there's any problem. You take it.
Oh, well, I've just got the feeling he might not want me round the place. I mean, what's he want to take on another hand for all of a sudden anyway?
How's it going, Jerry, lad?
How it all is going when you've got a bag full of tools and nothing to do with him?
Yeah, well, you know the score with us. If Piggott had take more men on, you'd be at top of the list. But we'd only have to lay 'em off later on.
I'm not asking.
Mind you, you might try and talk some sense into Fairclough and Langton's, though, mate.
Oh, aye?
Can't understand them. They don't seem interested in making money, they don't. Do you know Langton's just turned down a plumbing contract for 20 flats? Even told him where he found the right man for the job.
Aye?
Seems like he don't want to do either of us a favour. See you, Jerry.
Dunno, you know.
Now, there's nothing to be nervous about, Mr. Tatlock. We'll just have a little chat first, and then we're away. Oh, by the way, I don't think you told me your age.
Look, I'm not nervous, and I'm not going to tell you how old I am either, because that's got no to do with you.
He was 76 last August. He'll be 77 next year.
What do you want to go and tell him that for? It's got no to do with him.
Look, shall we just say that you are in your 70s, Albert?
Look, I wish you'd mind your own business. My age is my own affair.
Right. Now, Mr. Tatlock, you were telling me about some of the plants that are used in regimental badges.
Now, look, I've still got all my faculties, any road. Not like poor Charlie Horrocks. Hey, Charlie were a real mate he were. And it's times like that when you find out who your real mates are.
Times like what?
In the trenches. Stood talking 1 minute and next minute he were gone. Found him 20 yards away with his left leg blown clean off.
Right leg.
It was his left, and I should know.
You've told me that story 100 times, Albert, and it's always been his right leg.
Look, can we just stick to the subject, Albert?
Well, I am doing it. Horace keeps butted in.
Right. Now, Mr. Tatlock, you mentioned a few examples earlier. There's the red rose in the badge of the King's Regiment. Now, the Cheshire Regiment...
Do you remember Taffy McConnell?
And there's the Leek, that's the Welsh Regiment, and the Shamrock, and the Thistle.
He were a real lad with Taffy, you know. He come up here once. He fancied you then, you know. Aye, gummy, you're a lad, he were Taffy. He did, he were absolutely gone. And you know he were married 3 times, don't you? Trouble were, he didn't bother to get divorced between his marriages.
He was only married twice when he come from Scotland.
No, his mother come from Edinburgh, but Taffy lived in Wales.
Right, sir. Are we ready, then?
Ready? I've been ready for a heck of a time now. I've been waiting for you two to stop yapping.
Oh, you know, Stan, I've always wanted a tally with doors on. Hey, make a lovely fish tank.
You were?
When it's done with, you know. Ethel Crabtree had a fish tank put inside an old telly and it looked just like under the sea, you know, real.
300 quid telly, you're going to fill it with flipping fish.
Oh, well, you have to think ahead, haven't you?
Oh, good afternoon, Mrs. Ogden. Mr. Ogden.
All right, can we have it for tea time, then?
You said you'd let us know this afternoon.
Yes. Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to disappoint you.
Just, how do you mean?
Well, I've checked with head office and I'm afraid there's no chance of you having a colour TV set on trial from us.
Well, I know you got plenty, haven't you?
Oh, yes. Well, it's a matter of credit, really. You see, we have a list.
What list?
Well, we only have so many colour TV sets for sale, and we only have so many people we can allow to buy a TV set on credit.
And we are not on your list.
No, I'm afraid not.
Well, can't you put us on it?
I'm sorry.
No, we're wasting the time here. We'll go somewhere where they show colour television sets and don't tell people they can't have them.
Yeah.
Come on. No, you don't. Come on.
Well, that's about the lot. Well, thanks again. And don't forget, 1:20 tomorrow. Cheerio.
No. I'll have to remember to have my dinner early tomorrow.
I don't think you'll forget.
And I'll be sat in that there chair with my feet up and £1/4 pound of humbugs. You know, I've never heard myself on wireless before.
You could borrow one then?
Borrow what?
A radio for listening.
Well, my acres like. That one's done me for the best part of 40 years. Not going to let a bit of success come between us.
Well, you won't get out on that. They've stopped using 2LO call sign nowadays, you know.
Look, do you think I'm daft or something?
Albert, there's a little thing called VHF. Now, if you want to sit here tomorrow listening to that wireless, you go ahead. But it won't be Radio Manchester or Albert Tatlock you'll be hearing.
So Uncle Albert says I ought to be able to get VHF because I'm a school teacher.
I should think so, Noel. How do you hope to educate kids if you don't know what's going on in the world outside?
What's going on in Greater Manchester? You know?
Well, it's all the same to me, isn't it?
Hey, you get some very good requests on Radio Manchester.
Oh, yes, and how would you know?
Well, I get it on my tranny, don't I?
Ooh, it's all right for some, isn't it?
Yeah, we're about the only one who does. You know, I cannot understand why local radio was put on VHF.
You know, I don't think I've ever heard it.
No, well, a lot of people haven't. I mean, if the thing was worth setting up in the first place, you think it'd be worth putting on a waveband that everybody could receive, or am I daft?
Oh, we'll soon find out. Let's try, shall we? Put another gin in there.
Come again? Well, I can't let old firm go to pot, not seeing as how you went down on your knees.
Yeah, you'll be on your knees in a minute.
So I'll go and see Piggott about them flats first then.
Great, yeah.
What time do you say I had to start, Ray?
8 o'clock.
Oh, aye.
Do you hear that, Stan? Did you? 8 o'clock?
Are you coming to work with us? You didn't tell me.
Oh, I'm very sorry, Stanley. I didn't realise I had to consult you before taking people on.
I want to just fill in, Stan.
But you said there was no more room down at the yard, didn't you?
Well, there won't be in time, Stan.
Eh?
Hey, Stanley Ogden. It's a good hour since you said you'd be home in 10 minutes. And don't tell me you've had a rush job on, because rush jobs don't come in pint pots.
Good job I was here. I wouldn't have heard what I just heard sitting in our back kitchen, would I?
Have they brought it yet then, Hilda?
Listen, if you're giving prizes for answering riddles, I don't mind having a guess. But if you're not, perhaps you wouldn't mind saying what you're on about.
Colour telly. You know, the one that's not going to hurt Stan's eyes.
Yeah, well, we haven't made us minds up yet.
You went this afternoon, then, didn't you?
Yeah, but, well, Grabthorpe's couldn't let us have one because their lists was all taken up.
Lists?
Yeah. Oh, you know, they only have so many colour tellies, so they have to have lists of people as can have them. And we weren't on their list.
Right.
I bet they weren't.
Oh, dear.
Mr.
Walker,
Have you had a word with Mr. Piggott?
I've passed on your message and I've told him you're worried about Emily Nugent and she's worried about Ernest.
Worried? That's what I'm more like. Something has got to be done.
That's just what Mr. Piggott said.
He did?
Something's got to be done and done quick. Hey, Mrs. Walker, I think I know how we can help. I'll have a word with Willie about it.
Oh, would you, Mr. Shelton? I would be so obliged. You see, I'm quite sure that Emily would do anything to solve this terrible problem.
She might have to, Mrs. Walker.